Welcome to our Sunday night edition of DC Live. And wow, it's crazy what's all's been going on, but we're going to discuss it all here tonight. And just want to thank you for tuning in. And we're going to try to get through this as quick as possible. I said I probably wouldn't be back on, but there's too much going on not to discuss everything in this country. And so anyways, we're going to get started with that. And first and foremost, I just want to let you know you can listen to us also on YouTube here. Also, we'll be going on Facebook and Rumble. And also, you can go to the EIOBN.com website, and that is the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network. And there's a place on there to click and says listen. And if you click on that, you can listen. And I just want to let you know, even on YouTube, it doesn't show even the stats. It's not showing everything for some reason. But I will tell you this, on the stats for the radio station last night alone, there was over 10,000 listeners off and on. And so that's a great thing. The network is growing, and it's perfect. It's just perfect. But just as you know, you can go to the EIOBN.com website and learn a little bit about the Excellence in Online Broadcasting Network. Plus, also, you can give. And I do encourage you to do that because the work that we're doing is expensive, and there's a lot going on, and we're growing faster than what I thought we would. And also, you can do, if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can click there. That's a secure place to give. Also, if you just want a Cash App, you can do at DC Justice 1. In Cash App, and any gift that you can give is greatly appreciated. And with that being said, let's get on with the show here. And man, yesterday was busy, and I was in the middle of a dinner, and my phone just started going off. And when I saw what was coming across from several sources, my heart kind of sank a little bit, along with everybody else, and I knew that things were about to really change. And I know, probably been about 3 weeks ago, I spoke about a Black Swan event and how that can change things, and also just went over the prophecies of Kim Clement and just so many different things. And tonight I don't even want to focus too much on that as I do on Trump. And, there's been a lot going on and a lot being said on behalf of what happened, yesterday. And the nation, the nation is just fit to be tied. And that's why tonight I wanted to talk about it and call it the Trump Shockwave. Because what we saw yesterday was someone doing his campaign, exercising his right of speech, and to drum up more support, and we get it, and for his supporters. And the one thing that just mostly kind of disheartened me was the fact that some nut job would even try to do something like that and try to assassinate someone that's running for an office and do it in front of children, all that. And the shooter got exactly what he deserved, and that's a one-way trip ticket to hell. And you may agree or disagree, and that's the great thing about America. You don't have to agree, but we don't have to hate each other. But with that being said, I'm going to read you a couple things here. Donald Trump, his official statement was, "Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday, as it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening." Now let me stop there. I am so grateful to hear a leader, for once, give God the glory. And yes, it was a lot of thought. A lot of people say thoughts and prayers, and that's all it is just a thought. It ain't even a prayer. But Donald Trump does know, and I know this for a fact and personal, but he does know he has people that pray for him daily. And when this happened yesterday, people did begin to pray because we don't know what's going on. And I think it's great that he won. It was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. And he goes on to say, "For we fear not, but instead we remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness." That right there is a perfect thing for America. We must remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. That's why, and I know a lot of people on social media be like, he was shaking his fist, trying to get people to revenge. No, he did not. He was saying, we fight, we fight, we fight. Doesn't matter if the enemy knocks you down, puts a little blood on your face, disrupts some things. We still fight for our beliefs. We still fight for our faith. We still fight for our families. We still fight for freedom. And that's a perfect thing. And I'm glad that he didn't lay there. I'm glad that he got back up on his feet. And of course, he was saying, I need my shoes. And another thing we thought was kind of crazy is he's getting back up, but boy, he's got a hold of his hat. He ain't about to leave that hat behind. And then the Secret Service lady actually takes the hat from him, getting him off the stage to his vehicle because he won't let go of his hat. And I think what we saw yesterday was the beginning of a shockwave. And I'll tell you what I mean by that here in a second. But anyways, he goes on to say that our love goes out to the other victims and their families. And honestly, we all, it's just sad, just very sad, that someone or someones or people would be murdered for just going and exercising their right just to hear a candidate speak. And that says a lot for these whack jobs running around, that they don't give a crap about your life. They don't care about nothing but their self and their own agenda. And it is an agenda of hate. And it is an agenda of just disrupting our right to vote, our freedoms. Our freedoms are absolutely 100% right now at risk. And if we don't fight and keep our ability to do that, then they're going to be taken from us. That's why now is not the time to sit back and to just go, well, we're just going to pray about it. Let the Lord, God gave you the ability to speak up and react and handle things. And it's time for Americans to do that. I'm talking about true Americans. I'm talking about ones that grew up and they did place their hands over the heart and pledge allegiance to the flag, and it meant something to them. And these are the ones that have went off to war, and the ones that have served in military and other kinds of things, and law enforcement, or even in secret things that that aren't talked about, that are national security. Those kind of people, the people that really care about America. That's what I'm talking about. People that really care about the future of America, and don't just say, well, I'm just going to leave it this way because my kids will have to deal with it. No way, man. No way. We must be resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. Wickedness, man. It's just horrible. Absolutely horrible. And, and Trump goes on to say, we hold our hearts the memory of the citizen who was horribly killed. In this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united. Amen, President Trump. Listen, guys, we must stand united, period. Those that don't support us, let them not support us. But let me tell you this. You know how you really speak up in this world? You speak up with your money. Your mouth too, but your money. And if you know a business does not support your freedoms, I don't care how good of a product they have, don't do business with them. You don't have to be violent. You can just cut off your dollar bills from spending anything at those places. And if someone wants to be horrible and posting stuff that's just nasty, and some of the stuff I've seen, on social media has been just disgusting. Disgusting. Calling this dude that shot at Trump hero of the year and hero of freedom, and ridiculous. Ridiculous. And those kind of people that have businesses or whatever they have, don't support them. Don't support them. And when they say, man, why didn't you support my business? You say, well, you know what, man? You're pretty vicious, and as far as I'm concerned, you're a traitor. You're a traitor to our country. Amen. Amen. But anyway, Trump goes on to say, in this moment, it is more important than ever that we stand united and show our true character as Americans, remaining strong and determined and not allowing evil to win. And I got something to comment on that too. He says, I truly love our country and I love you all. And I look forward to speaking to our great nation this week in Wisconsin, or from Wisconsin. I'm going to say this. Talking about being defiant and don't worry about the evil and all that. 9/11. The feeling that I got yesterday was the feeling of 9/11. In 9/11, I was supposed to be in the World Trade Center building that morning. And the group that I was with, we had gotten there the night before. And so we get there, we drive down, we see where we're going to be going at the World Trade Center building, because we have to get there early in the morning, like early in the morning. So we decide, hey, let's go back to our hotel. Let's rest a little bit. So we lay down to rest. And the next thing I know, I'm dreaming that the phone's ringing. And then in my dream, I start waking up and the phone is actually ringing. So I run over and grab the phone. It's like, hello? And it was somebody on the other end. It was like, oh my gosh, we're being bombed. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Flick on the TV, and I flicked on the TV. And the building that me and 4 other people were supposed to be in was gone. And I remember that day, it's embedded in my mind. I could have been in that building. I should have been in that building. But I wasn't. And for the next 2-3 days, we were stuck trying to even figure out what's going on. And just couldn't figure it out. And, of course, there's smoke, ash, soot, whatever you want to call it, everywhere. And the country's all up in arms. And it was like at that point, 97% of our country was united in the face of evil. Because you backed us back in the back in a wall, and we weren't going to take it anymore. And yesterday, for those that consider themselves a patriot or just a flat-out American or MAGA, whatever you want to call it, yesterday was unsettling. It was unacceptable. And it ticked a lot of people off. And we must stay on course. We must stay on course. I'm going to play you something here. And I just want you to listen to this. Pull it up here. I know a lot of people keep saying, I can't hear. But we'll get you settled here.
Director Kim Cheadle must resign. She was warned about this. She ignored the warnings. And then he doubles down. I want to repeat and can absolutely confirm the U.S. Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle has repeatedly turned down requests for a larger security footprint around President Trump, despite knowing the threat level is catastrophic. Resign tonight. This dovetails somewhat with the reporting from the Federalist Sean Davis, who said requests had been made by the Trump campaign to increase security, and that DHS, which oversees Secret Service, had refused, Dan Bongino saying it was the Secret Service director herself, Kim Cheadle, who said no. Where was she tonight? And what was her role in saying no to additional security for the most threatened man in America? To remind our audience, tonight in Butler, Pennsylvania, the former president of the United States was the target of an attempted assassination. The bullet grazed his ear, inches, if not centimeters away from his brain.
Okay, so this Kim Cheadle, or whatever her name is, that is over the Secret Service, they denied Trump on multiple occasions to expand his Secret Service detail. Not because he was just wanting to have fun, but because he needs the protection. And I'm going to read you something here in a second. It's really going to blow you away. But they've requested it, and they keep getting turned down. She needs to be fired. It's unacceptable. One of the pictures that I've seen of when Trump went down on the ground, and it's a picture that one of these photographers took, but it's actually Trump laying down with his hand in front of him, and he's got blood dripping down his face. And I believe at that moment, Trump knew that it's getting hairy. Now, a couple things I'm about to say is very, very scary and touchy. First of all, let me say this. I believe Donald Trump's campaign changed yesterday. I believe his outlook changed in a heartbeat. And I believe it changed in a good way. And I'll tell you why. Not that he was shot was good, because that was ridiculous. But what I mean by a good way is this. I believe we're going to see a different Trump this week. We're going to see a different Trump. We're going to see a Trump, one that's the smiling one, the one that's making his comments. But I think we're going to see a grateful Trump, because you can go through things in life and still not be grateful. But for anyone that's listening that's ever had their life almost taken from them, and they live through it, you become the most grateful person on the face of the earth. And I believe his whole campaign's going to change. The attitude, the character of it, we're going to see a major, major change. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be more passive. But I believe even the way he handles Biden is going to be a little different. Because we all know Biden's a whack job. We all know Biden is just a dementia patient, and that's in a position. And we also know that Jill Biden is the one pulling his strings, and so is Obama. And he has to have handlers because he poops himself, and he acts like a buffoon in front of all these other. We know that. The whole stinking world knows that now. But Trump, he's going to bring them a shockwave like they've never, ever experienced in their life. Because you about took his life. And not only that, you had total disregard for the human race. And you had total disregard for the freedoms that you have. That you would risk everybody else's life and liberty for a stupid act. For a stupid act. One of the things I saw today that I want to address here too it's kind of funny. Is there's a guy in West Virginia, Derek Evans, and he was one of those that was in the January 6th protesters. But he says the FBI was too busy going after peaceful January 6 protesters such as myself. Imagine if all those man hours were focused on real threats, such as someone who is planning on an assassination attempt. Amen, Derek Evans. Amen. Yeah, it's like these leaders have their heads up their rear ends of the Democrats. I mean, seriously. And when I say there's going to be a shockwave, I know when Donald Trump is sworn in as a president, heads are going to roll. They're going to roll. That's the reason why they're so scared right now, because they know that he's going to win this thing. And let me reassure you of this, okay? Let me reassure you of this. You will be able to vote and it be secure. Because the military has been already working on this. There are special teams that have been, and it'll come to light here pretty soon, but there's special teams that's been put together to make sure that our elections are secure. And if these goofies want to try all this assassination stuff and whatever else, keep it up. The military will put armed guards at our voting if they have to. Do I think it'll get to that? No. But I think it all depends upon all these goobers and what they're going to do and what they're going to try to do. But I can guarantee you it's going to be a different election, and there's going to be a massive shockwave that's going to rock independents and Democrats. And my prayer is this, is that Donald Trump surrounds himself with people that, number one, know the difference between those who are wanting to pretend like they're Trump's friend just to get involved. I hope he has a lot of wisdom in this, and I believe he does. That this time going in, he's not going to take everything as face surface and just surface. You know, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. Donald Trump Jr. had posted this. It's a thread. It says, a lot of people are harping on this, but as a lawyer, now this guy's name's Jarvis, as a lawyer, I wanted to explain some legal things to you at the issue that has motivated their decision to introduce this legislation. And here's the legislation that was introduced just not too long ago. The Democratic Party, this legislation that they're trying to introduce, was to strip Donald Trump from his Secret Service protection now. Let me say something to you. Do you know what would have happened yesterday if that was the case? And then the Democrats would be like, "Oh, well, we didn't." They know. They have tried to throw him in prison. They've tried to raid his house. Biden gave them the go-ahead that if there was interference to take out that threat, he gave them the freedom to shoot Trump when they went to Mar-a-Lago. Dan Bongino says, I want to repeat and can absolutely confirm that the U.S. Secret Service Director, Kim Cheadle, has repeatedly turned down requests for larger security footprint around President Trump. Despite knowing the threat level is catastrophic, she needs to resign. She does. She needs to resign. There's been tons and tons of this. Let me say this. The guy that shot at Trump, I have never, ever known the Secret Service to have just 2 snipers on a roof. Okay? Let me tell you something what I do know. They're usually on every rooftop within sight distance. Okay? And this is where I'm going to tell you it's getting a little fishy with me. Because this guy was not in just direct sight. If Trump's head would have been straight, then we would have been talking about a dead Trump. But where he turned his head, that's where it hit his ear. And of course, people saying, oh, he's fake. He put fake blood on him. Just shut up. Be quiet. Dan Scavito Jr., if you don't know who he is and you look him up, I know him personally. A huge thank you to the incredible men and women at Butler Memorial Hospital in Pennsylvania. Each and every one of them were truly unbelievable upon Donald Trump's arrival. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I'm glad that they, even in this time, that they give people, what they need, and they actually compliment people instead of just acting like they're nothing. This is the magnitude. When I say a shockwave, he's going to bring a shockwave to the election. But let me just tell you this: this Lee Harvey Oswald or whatever you want to call him, the goal, and I want you to understand the magnitude of this shockwave they tried to do yesterday. The magnitude of this, their goal, and we're talking everybody watching from all the networks, but their goal was to physically, understand this, physically destroy his head live on TV. Not some grainy little film from 100 yards away like we've seen with JFK, and still to this day, we don't know who did it. Oh, I know who did it. I don't know who did it. No. Who cares at this moment? Doesn't do us any good. Half his people are dead anyway. But not some grainy, I'm talking high definition, 4K, 5K, whatever you want to call it, videos that we would never forget, that they could actually plaster on the internet. Their goal was to physically destroy this man's head, his face, on national TV, to blow his brains out so you would see it in high definition, but just so they could shatter his skull, blow his brain matter out, and then plaster it on top of the internet and celebrate it. That was the goal. That was the goal. And for those that wanted that goal, you are a pathetic piece of trash. And those of you that celebrate this guy that pulled that trigger, you are a pathetic piece of trash. It's unreal. Unreal. Melania Trump, her statement. I mean, here's the thing. These people are not your normal people. Normally somebody would be like, oh my gosh, my family went through this. No, here's her statement. I am thinking of you now, my fellow Americans. Melania Trump. We have always been a unique union. America, the fabric of our gentle nation is tattered, but our courage and common sense must ascend and bring us back together as one. You notice what she just said here? Our courage and common sense. If somebody don't have common sense enough to know what's right and what's wrong in this situation, you probably need to back away from them. And then she goes on to say, when I watched the violent bullet strike my husband, Donald, I realized my life and Barron's life were on the brink of a devastating change. Do you not understand something, people? They were willing to kill him, murder him, all because he's fighting for freedom. That's it. That's it. Fighting for stinking freedom, and they want to kill him. She says, but I'm grateful to the brave Secret Service agents and law enforcement officers who risked their own lives to protect my husband. To the families of the innocent victims who are now suffering from this heinous act, I humbly offer my sincere sympathy. You need to summon your inner strength, for such as a terrible reason saddens me. And a monster who recognized my husband as an inhuman political machine attempted to wring out Donald's passion, his laughter, his ingenuity, his love for music, and his inspiration. Guys, this makes me sick. Makes me sick. Ugh, makes me sick. And we still have people that praise these. You got one country artist that was praising the shooter. And now that coward, Zach Bryan, has taken down his social media on that. I'll never buy anything off of him. I'll never support anything. Matter of fact, if I go in Walmart and there's CDs or whatever is out there has his name on it, I'll turn them backwards and put some in front of it. You make me sick, you dog. People like that want to support someone just so violently doing that, you're pathetic. You're pathetic. Pathetic. But she goes on to say that the core facts of my husband's life and his human side were buried below the political machine. Donald, the generous and the caring man, who I have been with through the best times and the worst times. Let us not forget that differing opinions, policy, and political games are inferior to love. Our personal, structural, and life commitment until death is at serious risk. Man, she's brilliant. She's smart. I love that. Political concepts are simple when they're compared to us human beings. But we are all human beings, and fundamentally, instinctively, we want to help each other. At least we should. We shouldn't be wanting to destroy each other. We shouldn't be wanting doing that. I get it. But like I said earlier, if people are going to purposely support people that are murderers and people that want to kill and do all that stuff, stop. Listen to me. Stop supporting them. Stop it. Just stop. And this is where it gets really hairy. Jonathan Willis. Today he released a statement. He says, I am the officer in the famous photo of the two snipers on the roof at the Trump rally. And I wanted to come here and inform that I had the assassin, here we go, assassin in my sights for at least 3 minutes. But the head of Secret Service refused to give the order to take out the perp. 100% the top brass prevented me from killing the assassin before he took the shots at the president. Dan Scavino, I know you listen to this. You need to tell Donald Trump to fire all those people. Find him some loyal people. Because if your head of Secret Service is not going to give you more for your detail and put your life at risk, and then not let your Secret Service take out these whack jobs. I mean, seriously, who in the world would let somebody climb up a building in camouflage with their gun when bystanders are telling the police, hey, there's someone up there with a gun, going up there with a gun, and they laugh them off like it's no big deal. Secret Service agent has him in his sights. I've seen the video, and I've seen them. They're sitting there with their guns and they're waiting, and they've sighted this guy out and they're watching him, but they don't fire till after he fires those shots. This is what I say to you Secret Service snipers. Fire those shots. Kill the assailants. Yeah, I'm saying it. Lose your job if you have to. So I guarantee you, if Donald Trump found out that you took the assailant, you took this dingleberry out, and then the Secret Service was canning you, he'd rehire you. He'd probably make you the director. But for the Secret Service heads to keep that down, no. Absolutely. They all need fired. They need fired for that. Huh. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to say this. This is me. I told you all 2 weeks ago to buckle up. I said, buckle up, Buttercup. It's about to hit the fan. Don't respond. Don't react. Don't get involved. And what I mean by that is this, guys. It doesn't mean that you can't. What it means is this. Common sense. Go back to common sense, like Melania Trump said. Use your common sense in this. When I say don't get involved, I mean don't go to a gunfight with a BB gun. Protect yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. But don't go looking for trouble, because trouble will find you. But if you think they're going to stop at this thing yesterday, you are sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. And Donald Trump better buckle it up. And I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's had some really serious meetings last night and today about what he's going to continue to do. Because if you think this is the last attempt, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. Because, like he said, they're not after me. They're after you. Do you understand? He is standing up for freedom. He's standing up for us to be our voice, and they're trying to take that voice out. That's why they tried to assassinate him, because of his voice. Let me tell you something. Come November, there's going to be a massive shockwave, and he's going to win. There's going to be so many votes that they don't even know how to cheat. And not only on top of that, the military. I know this for a fact, guys. The military has already got plans for this thing. They're not going to be able to do anything. And this time, the swamp that Donald Trump has been trying to clean, all this has done through everything has revealed who the ones are that need to go. And some have actually already gone. You just don't realize it. I said that the other night. A lot of people go, oh, Gitmo ain't happening. Gitmo is happening. And it is recorded. It just hasn't been broadcast yet. But it will. And they don't want you to hear the truth. They don't want you to know the truth about history, about current events. You've been lied to most all your life. Me too, guys. And when I start learning things, I start going, what in the world? I cannot believe this. Because I voted for this person. You got to start realizing. I believe there will be a second attempt. One that will be publicly. Except I believe there's enough people praying that will keep it from being successful. I still stand by what I said a couple months ago on Brad Barton. We are preparing for a black swan event. And let me just say something about this shooter. If you don't know who Jack Ruby is, Jack Ruby was the CIA silencer. And he went and he silenced Lee Harvey Oswald. Because Lee Harvey Oswald was going to spill the beans on it. And I'm saying there's a problem within our Secret Service. And I'm saying we need to pray for Trump. We just need to pray. We need to pray about it. There's going to be a lot of things that take place. And I believe we're going to see. We cannot have our greatest days until we have conquered our worst enemies. And we are in the season now. We're in the long stretch here, folks. We're almost there. And we're going to get there. We must stay the course, stay the faith, believe, trust, and pray. Truly pray. Pray for Donald Trump and pray for our nation. And pray for the ones that would try to attack, the ones that would try to set up more traps, the ones that would try to throw him in prison, all these things, that God Almighty will step in and destroy all traps and everything that the enemy tried to do to us or to him, that those traps be turned around and capture the enemy. And whatever the enemy meant to do to us, Lord, give it back to the enemy tenfold. Our nation has had a major shockwave. It's called the Trump shockwave. And our nation must come back to God. After 9/11, when I finally got back home, I was grateful to be back home, grateful to be back with family. I was heartbroken of what had happened, sickened, disgusted, but also knew that it ain't all just terrorists from other countries. It's people in our own country that are a part of it. We're going to make it. We are going to make it, guys. I have faith we're going to make it. And I have faith. And not only that, I believe and I trust that God's going to bring us through. Once again, I'm going to ask you to like and share all these posts and these videos. Please, please, please get the word out. We're grateful for everyone. But I want to leave you with this last thing. And I read this a couple weeks ago, but I just feel like right now is a great time to let you in America know where we are. Because you were built to win. You were built to win. You won't break. Even though the pressure's around. Pressure's around. We see it on the news. I'm sure everybody yesterday, a lot of people yesterday had almost nervous breakdowns, panic attacks, and everything else. But you know what? We were built to be stronger than that. We were built to not break. You can't break, guys. You weren't even built to break. We are built. We are built to build others, to have our freedoms, live our dreams, build dreams. If you dream it, you can do it. You were built to win and to grow. You were just built that way. And let me tell you something. You may not have faith in Donald Trump. That's your prerogative. But you better have faith in something. And I know Donald Trump is not God. He's running for political position. That ain't what I mean. What I'm saying is, you either got to believe in something or just be quiet and don't believe in nothing. And I choose, as an American, as a red-blooded American that loves the American flag, loves my country, will fight for my country, will fight for my freedoms, will fight for my religion, will fight for the flag. We'll fight for our veterans that have been screwed over through the years. I'll fight for it all. You want to know why? Because I wasn't built to sit back and be passive, and neither were you. You were built to be great. You were built to fight. You were built for a moment and a time like right now. Can I tell you something? You're going to be part of this shockwave. You want to know why? Because the enemy has thought that they've had us. The enemy has thought they're down for the count. They ain't coming back. And the shockwave is when you dust your leg off and you get back up from the ground where the enemy thought he had destroyed you, and you stand back up and you say, we fight, and we fight. Though he slay me, I'm still going to fight. I'm still going to fight. And you will too, because you were not built to break. You were built to win. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a great Sunday night. Be encouraged. This week, well, I'll be back on, I'm sure. But keep your heads up, keep your hearts clear, and know that we got this thing. We're in it for the win, and we are the Shockwave.